Hello, friends. Welcome to week 7 here at BEC. My name is Jeff, alongside my good friend, the one and only Chef Billy. Well, we hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving break, feeling all rejuvenated. But it's time to get your head back in the game, and it's time to get back to business, Billy.
Yeah, we got to work off these turkey carbs. We got to work off all the food we gobbled down a couple days ago. But I hope everybody is doing well. As we said, this is the big Esports conference. It's Overwatch Day. It's Monday. A good way to get us started here is our matchup today. It is the number 1 ranked Illini Orange coming out of the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign going up against Michigan. They are ranked number 4, having lost their first match of the season last week at the hands of Rutgers. It was a pretty dominant performance from the Scarlet Knights. So we're hoping for the Wolverines to kind of ride off the passion of the big win over the Buckeyes this weekend. And we'll see if Michigan can get back into their winning ways, but they've got a hell of a task ahead of them. This Illini Orange squad is absolutely brutal.
Well, let's take a look at the overall power rankings. How are our schools fare across all titles? Brought to you by Colleague. And you can see Illini sitting there in the 4th slot with Michigan hot on their tail. So a win here would certainly step them forward. I mean, we'll be featuring this matchup all week long. Or at least these two teams will be playing each other in every title all week long. See if Michigan can steal that 4th spot away, Billy.
You know, we were also talking with Coach Palmer, the director of esports there at the University of Michigan, and they went down to Columbus and put a thumping down on the eSport Buckeyes in all the titles that they competed with them. And also there's a tweet out there that I retweeted because it's just freaking golden. The salt level is
some ruthlessness there on the social media here from the Wolverines. You'd expect no less, right? You'd expect no less.
I also got to say hi to Waffler as well. Waffler attends the University of Michigan, not in the esports program, but follows a lot of Overwatch as well and loves the Overwatch League and actually watched some contenders too. So hi, Waffler. We're covering your team again. But you know what? We're going to take a look at the starting lineups here for both teams, and we will start off with Michigan. Toby-Wan, Hugh, Flippy, Yamitra, and Claymore. And we really need to hope to see that they don't start these matchups or these fights losing one of these 5 players, because we have seen it consistently over the past 2 weeks. There have been some early deaths, so hopefully they have had a chance of VOD review to take a look at what was going on. On the other side, the lineups we have here: Danny, Chopper, Sillyphil, Zoolander, and Marble. We know that Chopper is actually in the lineup now, so we got debated as I take a look down at our other screen. Yeah, Chopper is in the lineup, so this is your starting 5 for the Fighting Illini. This is a Big Ten matchup, if you want to think about it that way. It's a big rivalry right now between Michigan and Illinois, and we're going to get started out on Control to start everything off.
Yeah, if you're Illini Orange, you're happy to see Chopper here in the lineup. We were initially they had a sub in there, I believe, and you know, maybe it was a strategic decision. But from what we could tell, our best guess, it looked like, you know, wasn't sure if Chopper was going to make it. So there's last second, you know, get one of their star and most veteran DPS players there in the lineup. I mean, one of the reasons this team is so strong and so potent, they're ranked 14th overall going into November from the Overwatch Collegiate Ranking Association, and that is across all tournaments and across the breadth that is collegiate Overwatch. So, I mean, just to make it into that top 20 is quite the feat. And Illini here 7-0, have only dropped 1 map in the entirety of their opening season here in fall 23. So that one being to Wisconsin back in week 4. So, I mean, the Titan can bleed, Billy. We'll see if the Wolverines are able to draw a little bit more blood.
Well, I mean, the Wolverines need to act more like the Wolverine from X-Men and have their claws out and ready to take them out. Go absolutely ham. We know they got it in them. We saw what they did against the Gaming Gophers out of Minnesota. But, I mean, you know, we can see if they can bring that level of cohesion here again. Now, they also had a bit of a matchup against the Rhine team last week, which is not very normal. True. Rutgers brought the Rhine variant to them, so as we take a look, I mean, hopefully we'll see the Sigma matchup again. Toby-Wan feeling much more comfortable on the Sigma.
This was Michigan's map pick. Illini got first ban going into Control. We do have bans here at BEC, so winning team will get to ban out a type going into the rest of this first of 3 series. Loser of each map will get to choose the map into the next game type, so get to try to turn it around. I mean, a loser pick always has an extra element of strategy. I think the ban even adds another layer on top of that. But we're kicking things off here in Lijiang Tower. Let's get week 7 underway.
Well, it is Danny playing in the tank role. Zoolander had actually moved over to tank back in September, but it's now back on their main support role. So let's see how the Chinese student can do here.
It's an Orisa comp that the Wolverines have to face up against, at least so far, start things out. As Danny returns with their old squad here in this Week 7 matchup. So far, you've got Michigan with a point presence. They're able to hide behind that center pillar. Just trying to make somebody in. Silly Phil's the one to go in. There's the wall up. Phil does have the cryo freeze to be able to avoid some danger. Attention turned over to Danny from the other side as the Fortify is used to loop around the outside. But look at all that damage. All 5 players from the Michigan turn their attention onto the Orisa, and Danny is eliminated, obliterated. The rest of the team fleeing for the hills. Well, I say that. Silly Phil is still here trying to freeze everybody down. Zoolander playing off of that Lucio from the outside. Phil eventually caught out. Zoolander's not able to get him up in time. A couple of ults coming online here for Illini, but they're going to drop this first fight.
They are going to drop it. I mean, great pursuit as well. The great support coming in from Yamitra and Claymore. I mean, that was an early window. Beat Marble to the punch easily. And now, you've got dueling sound barriers ready to go. I'm looking for Chopper to open this up. We know how good you and I have been casting this gamer for almost 2.5, 3 years now. The growth has been exponential, and getting to see them on the collegiate stage so dang good. Now we'll see if this overclock can get anything done.
Yeah, we were casting Chopper back at Contenders Trials in 2020.
Yes.
Overclock now online, ready to go from the outside. Amp Matrix out. It's going to be a Gravitic Flux from Toby1 to counter that Amplification Matrix, but Chopper's going deep into your backline. Claymore's going to pop that sound barrier. Chopper backs up as the Terror Surge is unleashed here from Danny, and Toby1 falls underneath the pressure. Yamitra immediately targeted right afterwards. And with Danny picking up 3 in this fight, it's a quick flip here for Illini.
Yep, great rotation there, great avoidance and use of the sound barrier there from Zoolander, so they get the job done. Now, 51%. That's what Michigan has to work with. Now as they make their approach, they do have Blizzard. Sillyfield has theirs too. Both of the sound barriers were invested, Jeff, so not a lot of protection against getting frozen.
Who's going to be more proactive with it? You got to watch out for that Fortify coming out from Danny.
Oh, my Lord.
Just nullify it. That was a lot of damage. Just the M-Matrix is there. But the Blizzard is huge here from Silly Phil. The Respawn Brothers is there. Yamitra's keeping everybody up for the meantime. Immortality Field was perfect. Still a lot of critical health bars. The Chopper pops the overclock, jumps on top of the wall, and is trying to burn down Toby1. Will succeed with a lot of their take. Oh! Then a mean headshot to finish off Hugh.
Good job. I mean, that's just great play and counterplay from both teams. You can't fault either team there, and it is a Fighting Illini that come out on top here, and now they're going to run for the hills and get themselves set up back onto the point. Amp Matrix ready to go here for Marble. That's really going to stymie any kind of a push coming in from the Wolverines as they close in on 60%.
Oh, it's so difficult to run into an Amp Matrix on this map, too. Your approaches are through these narrow corridors, and it looks like Wolverines are going to circle all the way back around a White Room. Marble is sitting very far away. Danny to hold the line with a Terror Surge in the pocket. Blizzards will come online for Sillyville first if this fight goes on for too long, and it could be the last one here for Michigan if they're not careful. Crowd freeze forced out early by a nice energy javelin, and here comes the Terror Surge out of Danny into the back. Hughes already dead. Immortality Field is gone. Off the map went someone. It looked like they might be able to get back on. Still, Toby1 is left alone, and this Amp Matrix will not be enough. Even a sound barrier used in a desperate attempt. Yamitra's able to pick up 2, but it's just 2 supports here in the back. And despite the valiant attempt, it won't be enough.
I mean, the fight planning between these two teams is happening just lickety-split. And I think that really the Orisa is able to claim so much space, can just walk past the experimental barrier and then just go in there with the javelin spin and deny and mitigate all that damage coming into the Orisa. So, I mean, for right now, I think Toby needs to be very wary of when he uses the accretion to be able to, kind of knock Orisa back on her butt. Then we need to look for Hugh. Hugh needs to go on some more flank angles. I think they're playing pretty well right now, but I think that getting a little bit more around the outside of the team, pulling the focus of the supports that are just got a beeline for Danny there in the front line. If you can pull that focus away, you might get a little bit more done.
Going over to a Sigma of their own as we head into Control Center. We're also going to get Silly Phil moving over to a Junkrat. Like the one sub map in the whole game where Junkrat is actually meta is Flippy and Silly Phil trade right out of the gate. And it's Danny who lands a big accretion rock. First blood goes to Illini. We were talking about this being an issue here for Michigan, and they lose too early in this fight. Hugh, with a good wall, is able to put some damage down, finish Chopper along the way, and it's just become a chase around on Danny. Nobody on point just yet, as two members from Illini will drop down to grab that first control.
Yep, I mean, we'll see. The contest come through, possibly not. It's a little bit too
Not quite
late.
time.
Yep. So, I mean, Toby Wad, though, has good positioning here. And, I mean, the amp is going to have to be used early because of the damage coming through.
Zoolander was hoping for a boop off the map. Teleport setup, and Mortality Field already used here. Toby Wan is trying to force Danny off the point. Hypersphere's land. That's two more. Danny in a bit of trouble. Gets aggressive on the back of it and tries to kind of flip the script here, knowing there's an Ant Matrix on the other side. An incredible move from Danny to avoid what was otherwise a very dangerous situation. But Zoolander cannot escape, and Michigan are still 4 strong here on this point. With Misha on the high ground, it's a big boon for Toby Wan. They're going to move in, try to make Chopper. Eventually, he'll bring him down, but Hugh falls once again. Now Danny is back on this point. Illini have maintained possession this entire time. Gravitic Flux invested in will only, gets 2. It does catch Lucio there on the back. Toby Wan low, and steps in a trap.
That is brutal on the back end of that. I mean, Danny with some serious mechanics there, able to really get around the damage coming in. I mean, they were down to what, 20, 25 health maybe, and gets out of that fight and is able to turn that fight on their own.
And running into an Ant Matrix, Billy. Like they were running full bore into an Ant Matrix and just turned around and ran right at Toby Wan. I don't think Toby Wan expected that at all. Speaking of unexpected, here's a nice teleport sound barrier strategy coupled with a photon barrier, and Michigan are trying to get aggressive. They move up onto the white room, but the sound barrier's already faded. Toby Wan is already in a lot of trouble, and Flippy has found themselves on the business end of a tire. 2 deaths already from Michigan. They do manage to sneak control out from underneath this, but that's about all they're going to get.
Well, I mean, I guess the good thing is that Toby Wan wasn't able to use the Gravitic Flex there. I mean, Zoolander was holding the sound barrier in pocket, so I mean, you've got that going for you. But for real, we were looking at Toby Wan, kind of going on a little bit of a hide and seek chase there, and gets around and gets absolutely decimated.
Good wall. Danny has no option but to try to run outside. There was no escape there. Brilliant placement from Hugh on that. Michigan cannot afford to lose anybody on the approach. This keeps happening, Billy. Flippy's the one to fall to the Junkrat spam this time. Overtime is avoided as the point flips, but the sound barrier early here was preventative. Chopper still takes enough damage, and coupled with the Blizzard, this will be a fight win. The Wolverines look to have this one in the bag, but Danny's returned on the Doomfist is not going to make it easy on him.
No, it's not going to make it easy at all. I mean, you basically die, get out and die. The empowered block is gone. Yeah, that'll be the finish there. Now it's a chance for Michigan to be able to get up to this choke point and use the wall to their advantage, get Hugh in place, and be able to kind of cordon off the members of the Fighting Illini as they try to come through.
Yeah, Chopper's gone over to a Sojourn. Back over to a Sojourn, should I say. Had great effect with it there in the first sub-map of Gardens. The wall is a little late. Looks like 3 got through. Sillyphil still goes down. So first blood going to Michigan here in this engagement, and then needed that badly.
Sound barrier coming up online here for Claymore, though. So, I mean, that's going to be good. A nice wall there from Hugh. Once again, they're going to try and burn him down.
Immortality Field comes out. Danny gets a little bit of extra health, but is still in a world of hurt. Sub 75 of the healing coming from Marble. That was impeccable. That was incredible. And Danny is still here and ready to push back. Ant Matrix from the outside means they can't push it too far. Sound barrier invested from Michigan as well. The wall's up, but there's a sliver, a crack that Danny's able to get through, sneak out, still in a personal pugilist battle with Toby Wan. Tire being unleashed from the high ground. Immortality Field taken care of, and the Tiger fights too.
I mean, that's it. That'll be the map win here for the Fighting Illini. I mean, maybe a last-second touch from somebody on the backside. Yeah, there it is. I mean, Kevin Chopper comes up with 2 and silences everybody in Lijiang Gardens. Oh, my wow. That is absolutely brutal there on the end, but we saw it.
Oh, my wow, indeed.
Oh, my wow. Many wow. Much wow, even.
Much wow. Much wow, indeed.
Toby Wan doing the Lord's work here, but just not able to really get enough on the back of all these different outcomes that we saw coming from the Illini. They were just able to stay in these fights so long, and that's a big problem right now that they need to deal with, is losing that early player, Jeff. We talked about it in the opening.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about it now. It was always it seems to be a first pick against the Wolverines that is really catching them out. Need to play a little bit more behind the cards and kind of pounce on this Illini team.
And it's something I'll be keeping my eye on as we go through the rest of the series. How safely is Michigan taking these rotations? Are they able to keep everybody in good cover? I mean, when you have somebody of Chopper's capability with that Sojourn, you don't have to step but a pixel out of line before Chopper has got a railgun right to your dome. So it doesn't take much. I mean, it doesn't take much of a mistake for Illini to capitalize and find that first kill.
Yep, and that's something that we'll take a look at for sure, because it's starting to become a theme. We'll see if there's anything that can be done about it, but still, it wasn't a mopping of the floor per se. I mean, Michigan's got that dog in them right now, and they're ready to fight. I mean, I was expecting this to go a certain way, and it did not go the way I expected. There's some definite fight wins. The fight planning was really good from them. The Ultimate Economy, when they decided to go out with some of these Ultimates, they did invest a Flux and a Blizzard almost simultaneously, but they get the result on the end of it. So we'll take a look and see what happens when they start getting into the next map type.
Yeah, we did get that pick, and it looks like Michigan have chosen Kings Row here for map number 2.
Okay.
So, yeah, good old tried and true. I mean, this is what they picked against Rutgers. Last time we saw them last week, round 6, obviously not counting the Thanksgiving break 2 weeks ago. Anyway, you get my point, y'all. Back in round 6, they picked Kings Row against Rutgers. It did not go their way, y'all. They struggled a bit on this map. They end up getting kind of spawn camped after capturing point A. They just get full held there on the point B spawn. So I like the heart, because that's going to be necessary. I mean, this shows perseverance, so they're able to just brush off that loss last week. They're going up against, there's only 2 undefeated teams left in BEC, and Michigan have had them faced back-to-back here, Billy. So I think that heart is an important aspect looking at Michigan right now as they're staring down the barrel of they're on the back foot once again already here after map 1.
Yeah, but I mean, there's still 2 more maps at least. We did see, what we saw against Minnesota. They went to Kings Row, had a very good showing there. So, I mean, they have the strategies. Now it's just about execution, and we'll see if they're able to do that here. Looks like that they are going to stay on the same sides here. So Toby1 and company will be coming out defensively here on Kings Row. They're going to see what they have to match up against this fighting Illini team. The Illini Orange are really known for their team play. And I've heard a lot about Zoolander across the league, and I'm part of Okra. They talk about his support play, and they were starting to talk about his gameplay as well. So I mean, I'm very interested to see what they come out here. Are they going to put some kind of a wrinkle into this map?
Last time we saw them play defense on this map, we saw Hanzo come out. Yep. And I mean, that was quite effective. Looks like he was going to stick with the Sojourn here for this defense this time around, though. A little bit more mobility on the Sojourn, but doesn't quite have the surprise one-shot factor that a Hanzo can bring to the table. Still a lot of punching power, though.
It's good for shield break.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the Hugh versus Chopper matchups for Chopper decide to come out with a Sojourn or some other similar hit-scan character.
I mean, they're flashing the Widowmaker right now, so we'll see. Going for an early pick, see if they get something there. There's the experimental barrier. Just to wait. There will be at least one shot coming from Chopper, and we know how good they are.
Yep, we'll go ahead and make that walk over. We'll get the mirror matchup. Vlada come out of Kings Row, started off with a good wall, trying to catch off Kobe. One decided to turn attention over to Flippy instead. Both of our mays end up just using Cryo Freeze. Hugh finds Chopper on the escape as Illini was trying to back away. Advantage to the defense. Good start for Michigan.
Yep, and I mean, reaching out early there from Danny as well. This is actually not a good position here for them. They're going to be able to push on top of the Sigma. Yep, there goes Sillyfield down. The May is gone. All your utility is gone.
That was a great wall from Flippy. You can see Danny even was kind of peeking around the wall, do I want to get involved in this? Saw the mess that was going on there and said nope. Turned around and just pieced out of there.
Chopper has landed a series of shots and swapped over to that Widowmaker.
Ooh, what a shield!
Beautiful.
Sorry to cut you off. Claymore had about 20 health, and that shield just narrowly blocked an accretion from Danny to keep the Lucio alive, Claymore alive. Good wall there. Toby1 gets forced off on the outside. The amp matrix is no good. Toby1 is down. This is just open season for Illini now.
Yeah, I like the positioning from Unitra here. I mean, you got aggressive with it, but you didn't expect to see your see your Sigma go down there, so that's an unfortunate event. Now, if they can get this, well, they're down 2 now. This should be point A being taken. But, I mean, Claymore coming up on the sound barrier. Yeah, you're going to try and texting him back. Flippy is still alive. Well, I say that. Oh,
Flippy
no.
decided to go through Hotel after Toby fell, and they just ended up in an awkward position. Blocks only gets 1 here. Shield should be able to keep him alive. The rock lands. Immortality Field yields. Still Toby trying to respond. Does land that accretion. Forces Chopper off. It's enough. Toby is able to live through this with Hugh picking up that kill on the Silly Phil. Michigan are in a position to bring us back. Another one from Hugh. Danny is going to get rocked. Runs into the pub with 93 health. Immortality Field. His Marble's going to join him inside. Toby will pick up that one as well. So after giving up the point, it's a good response from the Wolverines.
This is a much better response than what we saw last week, Jeff. They, well, I'd say that Chopper just did a Chopper thing there from way downtown and gets the headshot on, or no, sorry, the body shot that finishes off Yamitra. But Chopper down in response. So, I mean, you know, the trade, you'd rather have your Baptiste in there right now, especially with Ultimates coming up online. They don't have anything to defend up against this Blizzard coming in.
Flippy, that's a dangerous move. Flippy retreated off to the opposite side once again. This did not work on point A. They ended up getting stuck out. But they have a Blizzard this time. Oh, and they stuck their nose out. Now they know you're there, Flippy. But still, Michigan have now bought enough time for Yamitra to get back in this fight. They did have to give up a bunch of room, because you were talking about because of that trade favoring Illini. But Yamitra does have double damage and double healing, making their return triumphant with a Blizzard to couple with it. This should be a defensive fight win. Marble already picked off. Sound barrier invested from Claymore as well. Heavy investment from Michigan. Card still rolling. Gravitic Flux coming in from the other side. Danny is going to flip this back around. Yamitra has found the regenerative burst and still can't survive through. Hugh lost the overclock. This went from bad to worse fast. Illini with a massive counterpunch.
It was the wall that sectioned off Michigan from the point, and they just were able to get about, what, 15 meters before they were able to respond. And then you had the surprise Gravitic Flux out of Danny. And, I mean, having burnt both of their support or ultimates at the beginning of that fight, they had nothing in the tank to defend, and it was an easy fight win and the second point being taken.
Yeah, anytime you invest 3 ults and only get 1 kill for it. I mean, like, that's not a good ROI, friends. Nice shot. Kobe finding the perfect range from the hyperspheres. That accretion rock made it past the shield. That one did not land. Double damage still in effect here from Illini as they would turn this corner.
Look at all that overhealth that Toby-Wan got, though, through the kinetic, or through the Ant Matrix, just using that kinetic grasp, getting the job done.
Yeah, it was the only reason they were able to stick around, because the Immortality Field had already been used, but they felt confident to hold the corner. We're seeing that confidence wane a little bit as they get pushed back, and Chopper finds Fatoma Flippy. Now up to the high ground, ideal positioning for a Widowmaker to rain down shots, helps in some kills, and Marble helps in a pair of their own. Do anything. Tons of shielding and no way to go anywhere. Michigan finds themselves in a tight spot as Danny clinches their grasp and tightens down on Kings Row with a massive time bank. Illini are firmly in control on this map.
Yeah, I mean, the first point was pretty good, but we saw once again that early pick that came out. And it is starting to be a very serious concern here. It's starting to be a very serious concern here as they're just they're almost daring the Illini to confirm the kill when they peek out, or they get caught, you know, without a cooldown, being able to get back into cover. And I think it's starting to become more than just an occasional thing. I think they need to really be looking at their positioning, at where they're going through, where their sight lines are, especially with Chopper on the other side. You know who Chopper is if you're an NA player. You have to know who Chopper is. Get in the Chopper. That's one of my favorite calls I ever did, was when he went through with a Dragon Blade back at university. It was a good one. But I mean,
good call. Good old
yeah, but still, I just think that looking at where you're going and taking these fight plans, I think that's something that Michigan really needs to look at, because it's that first pick. Sure. And they're getting absolutely crushed on the back of it. So let's see what they got offensively. They took point A last week very convincingly, and then the event happened. And we hope that will not happen again.
I was just going back to that 3-ult fight. I mean, incredible call from Danny and Zoolander to push forward and go past Michigan. and completely turn the economy on its head. That was absolutely a tipping point there for the defense of Michigan. Now up to them to respond. They've got Silly Phil in an awkward position here, caught inside statue with the cryo freeze already used. Shield to block the accretion rocket. Silly Phil's trying to get out of there, running through a disruptor shot to make it happen. Chopper gets taken down, so first blood goes to Michigan. Good start. They're gonna find both DPS right out of the gate. Moving around to cinch up on the back of hotel. No vacancies here. Y'all gotta get out.
I mean, that's a pretty emphatic fight there, my friend. And even with the mini pack, he's going to go down here. That's it. That's the first point.
Not just emphatic. Flawless, Billy. Flawless.
Yeah. Flawless victory. Yes, I mean, fantastic work. But I mean, for them, now it's all about how do they move forward. They need to take space here. They need to get at least through Archway, see if they can push up the bookstore. But they got to do it very, very judiciously, especially with the damage coming in from both Sillyfield and from Chopper.
It's like they move a more conservative approach for Michigan. They're going to opt to just stay on the back end, play it safe, and fight their way nobly and tenaciously through this choke. Using an Ant Matrix out of Yamitra, but a Gravitic Flux is going to be gargantuan. That found so many players in it, and it's put Michigan on a deadly back foot. They're able to pick up a kill through the middle of it. Danny goes into the thick of things to finish off Flippy with a little help from their Lucio while the rest of the team retreated. Flippy once again retreats the wrong direction, and this fight kind of draws back to the stalemate.
Well, I mean, you've got Toby-Wan available with theirs now, so I mean, the Flux should be big.
Would slide out from Chopper. I don't know if that got anyone. They take it hit Danny. Danny is down super low, and here comes the sound barrier trying to push into an amplification matrix. Michigan need to find value on the back of this, but they cannot. There's just too much healing to go around. Chopper is able to pick up Yamitra through all the mess. Zoolander's put so much pressure on Toby-Wan. They were just getting pinballed around, bouncing off of bumpers left and right. Chopper cut a corner, does fall. Is that the opening that Michigan needs to break through? Because it's going to be a much longer run back for Chopper than it is for the rest of the Wolverines.
Hugh? Do we want to talk about that? I'm not sure what happened there with Hugh, but Blizzard versus Blizzard fight. Danny has another Gravitic Flux online. That's how much damage this Sigma player has been getting done. Yeah, I like this aggressive push. Now let's see if you can get a wall and get him trapped off.
Oh! Flippy almost caught it, but Danny was too quick. Got around that corner. Blizzard out, and it does catch Danny on the back end. Able to land that shot. Not quite able to get a low west. In fact, Obi-Wan is the one who escapes getting frozen up, and here comes Michigan still 5 strong.
I mean, the walls got great walls. I mean, these two Mays are sharing a singular consciousness right now when they put these walls up. It seems like we're seeing a blue and a red wall going up every single time, almost at the exact same time. Great work for them. Great pursuit. This is much better from Michigan than what we saw last week.
Who's cut off on the right side? So I know Silly Phil's over there. Who else is with them? So it's hard to tell. Maybe a Baptiste. I didn't quite get the look at it. But here comes the rest of the team. Had to reconvene to make sure those two players got off safely, and doing so means that there's going to be a recontest here. Nice rock! Holy Dwayne Johnson! What was that out of Toby-Wan? Immortality Field is keeping him alive and standing through. This is the only tank left in this fight. Great heals through an Ant Matrix from Yamitra, a big part of that, and able to take the Gravitic Flux out. So, the Immortality that is, so the Gravitic Flux can come through. That does get the ice block out of Silly Phil, and this seems like it's going in Michigan's favor until Danny comes through with a big punch. Oh my goodness, that hit like 3 people. Everybody's critical, but Michigan are still standing tall. Desperate here to push in the final couple meters, and they're going to use a sound barrier to do so. Running in, there's one in response from Zoolander, and both teams just clash head to head. Toby-Wan will escape out of that encounter alive as Zoolander cuts him down with the Song of Death. And now, Illini have managed to force back through this long and drawn out fight. Oh my, what an encounter. What a statement there from Illini Orange. There's no business. They should have won that, Billy.
I mean, it was just tenacity, and Danny coming back on the Doomfist is a big reason of why that works. I mean, already got a Meteor Strike out. That's how emphatic Danny was in that fight. Being able to absorb all the pressure and just stay alive long enough for the contest, for the supports to get back in there, and most importantly, for Silly Phil to get back in with those important walls.
Well, Michigan does have a wonderful counter, and that's Yamitra has another Ant Matrix. I swear they have more Ant Matrices than they have Immortality Fields. It's coming up faster. Claymore with a great kill to start things off on the back of a great wall from Flippy, and now Flippy's going to throw in that Blizzard. Toby One's frozen up by Silly Phil's ultimate, but the Amatrix in the back has kept them alive. Yamitra Johnny on the spot with it. Doomfist still in play here from Danny, and that eats a big accretion rock, trying to use the cooldowns to get the heck out of here. Going to the opposite side from the Foundry is going to leave some squishies vulnerable here, as Michigan's hard to put this cart the final 5 meters needed.
Chopper had used the overclock as well, so they don't have that threat to rely on the charge rail shots to get it done. They have one available now.
I'm surprised the DPS are going for this contest. There's no tank here, but fearlessly, Illini continue to push forward. They've already thwarted Michigan's plans once here in this entrance, and with that Ant Matrix, Toby One just has to scamper away. Wow, another incredible accretion rock to try to buy a little bit of space, but still they're stuck in a corner. Hugh picks up picks up an Immortality Field, and Chopper does fall when it's all said and done, and Danny is back in this fight. Illini are just unkillable here on the back of this point. They will not allow entrance. Meteor Strike countered by the Soundbearer coming out from Claymore. Yamitra has yet another amplification matrix in this fight. That's 3 in the past 2 engagements. Still, Flippy will fall. 15 seconds to go, and Michigan are falling apart, but they've got to kill on Danny at least. There's a sliver of hope here, Billy.
I mean, it was all about Danny moving in on this. That's
the Blizzard.
Huge Blizzard, no!
Toby One's in trouble. Toby One is gone. They only needed 3.5 more meters, but they could not find it. The Wolverines get stomped on Kings Row once again.
I mean, just incredible individual plays coming out of the fight in Illini there, and it's Danny. Danny coming back on the Doomfist. It was the hero that you didn't know you needed. It's going to be the Sigma play that we see, but the Doomfist was so much more emphatic.
Some of the longest fights, but in a good way, where it wasn't long fights because teams were just unfocused and couldn't confirm kills. It was long fights because the supports were doing so darn much, because the rotations, microscopic rotations were spot on. This is Illini. They've got the whole package, Billy. They've got the execution, they've got the brain, they've got the planning. It seems like there's nothing they can't do, and they are on track to find themselves another 3-0 here in week 7. We'll see if they can close it out. We're going to head to intermission. When we come back, it's Flashpoint. We'll see you on the other side. Well, Michigan trying to stave off an 0-3 defeat here in week number 7 to head into the Christmas break, as they will have a bye last for the final week of this fall season. So they're hoping that this fall semester doesn't end right here on Flashpoint.
Yep, I mean, they're up against it right now, and this is probably one of the most brutal 2-game stretches that anybody in this conference has, going up against Rutgers and then against the number 1 team in the conference being Illini Orange. I mean, they're breeding something special out there in Urbana, and we'll see if Michigan has anything to say about it. We're going to head to our next map. It is going to be Flashpoint, and the pick has come in. It's going to be Suravasa. So we're going to see a lot of this play out of the Sojourns. It's going to be Hugh versus Chopper, something we're going to zoom in on, and we're going to see if Danny goes back over to the Orisa here, because I think Orisa plays very well on Suravasa, being able to claim space, being able to take control of a point, and of course, having to throw yourself at a point. The Orisa really reigns supreme with that Terra Surge.
We did a great job with it on Lijiang Tower. I mean, when you got these tight, close-quarter battles where an Orisa can close the gap against a Sigma, it can make life really tough for Toby Wan here. So it could be an option, and it's been good. It's having the old favorite come back, having somebody kind of come back in and step into the shoes can be difficult, when you had a tank return. But it's looked good here for Illini thus far, and I'm here. I mean, it's been a convincing 2-0, Billy. It hasn't been relatively close, to be honest.
I mean, I think the Lijiang was actually relatively close, and I mean, we see growth here this week based upon what we saw against their first real test of this season up against Rutgers last week. They got double as far. And I mean, so I think that, this is really good for them. It's going to help build the confidence going into the end of this fall semester. So for them, I mean, Suravasa is kind of a match point here for them. They need to really assert who their identity is. And I think that if they can do that, and they can start finding the kills and, kind of breed the confidence there, we might go to a map 4, but like I said, I think Danny comes back out on this Orisa, and if they do, well, that's going to be lights out.
I think you make a valid point, though. Let's not sell the Wolverines short. They have been quite competitive. I mean, Lijiang was definitely competitive. It was a 2-0, but they were able to go back and forth with Illini in that. Certainly, I mean, the number 1 rated team here in BEC Overwatch. The teams clash right in the middle of Market. Try to grab first control here on Suravasa. Rock lands. Danny is gone, but Chopper's picked up 2 on the back end. Chopper came in on the flank on the complete opposite side and killed 3. Make it 4.
That's it. That's the first point gone. I mean, and losing your Sojourn so early in the fight, I think is a massive loss of confidence there. Just the rotation, they didn't follow Toby Wan in. When he went in aggressive, they were, kind of had their focus aside over trying to take care of Zoolander and Choppers. They decided just to circumvent that first fight altogether and really take the flank angle. And that's the point where you see them come in and take it out. Now Danny's back on the Doom Fist. Great close quarter pugilist.
Yeah, just going to try to enable Chopper as much as possible here. Able to punch in past the wall. And Flippy not able to lock him down. I think Silly Phil's going to get a lot more value out of these main walls. Now with this switch over to Danny on the Doom Fist. Obi-Wan got to be so cautious about it. All the pressure on a Chopper in the back, and the three players that are able to pounce on and make it work. Marble falls to Bear Hyperspheres in the back. You saw Danny on point, trying to buy as much time as possible. Oh, even picks up Mitra out of the back. Suddenly, this is looking winnable here for Illini. Meteor strike in, just tickle Toby-Wan a little bit, but that Blizzard's gonna hurt. Danny with the final blow, and Illini tough it out.
That is fantastic for them. Yeah, Flippy's just got to die here and get done. That this is going to be the extra ult charge over. That'll do it. So I mean, we'll go over now. Once they capture this, we'll see where we're heading up next. Flippy does have Blizzard online, and the Flux is coming up for Toby-Wan as well. So there's some engagement tools here for the Wolverines. I mean, you know, the fact that they actually forced that Blizzard out of Silly Phil was really a big boon for them, because now they're going to have that advantage going in this fight.
Michigan certainly need to make it count. All sticking together on the approach as they run off a couple of the pokers there. Ooh, Danny had worked their way around to the back, but gets spotted and is forced out. There's not quite a full team here on point. Well, they're just scattered all around the point. Illini have all three other entrances covered. Danny gets stuck in the Blizzard. Chopper is in it as well. Mortality Field able to keep the ladder alive but not perform. 5v4 favoring Michigan as they try to excavate this point.
Oh, I love that. I love that, Jeff. They ran right past that Amp Matrix. They got the pursuit on. They have the speed. They got on top of them. Now they're getting stagger kills into boot. So, I mean, this is going to be great capture percentage here for the Wolverines. Both support ultimates are online. Completely devalued that Amp Matrix. Marvel thought they were going to be slick, and the Wolverines said, nay, we got this covered.
I'm not quite sure what that was about. Marvel switching to the life lever for one pull on to Danny, and goes right back over to the battle. Maybe an inside joke I'm not privy to. That rock landed. Danny, maybe not. Danny didn't get out of there. Driver pops an overclock on the outside, prompting the grip here from Toby-Wan. That's a lot of life as the Salvator is thrown in as well. With that, they're able to get a kill on the Flame more. Gravitic Flux it invested. Still, it's Illini who are finding the kills.
Two complete devaluations of Amp Matrices. The Sound Barrier doesn't keep Claymore up in the fight either. Chopper with the overclock getting so much burst damage in. There was nothing that the Wolverines could do there. And Toby-Wan just did not find the range with that Flux. Just so much pressure against them. And now Phil being able to lock off the point. I say that as they go down, they have the Blizzard, but it's gone wasted.
What a crucial kill from you. An important factor moving on to this point, not to worry about the Blizzard. Knowing that Illini gave up a little bit of space. Danny with a quick in and out as the point flips back over. 92%. Danny sticking around here is going to proc that OT. Moves on to the point while Hugh chases Chopper away. Using overclock to do so. It's a Blizzard in from Silly Phil on to this point. Finally present itself, freezing up 3. Claymore is going to fall. Hugh is in a bit of trouble as well, but they're able to survive through it as Flippy counters back.
Well, this should be it right here. I mean, unless a good wall comes up. No, that'll be the flip. They're going to get the stagger kills here as well. They're going to go and get themselves a map. It's all even here in Suravasa. And, I mean, just a lot of extra ultimate charge fed over to the Wolverines. Blizzard advantage, once again, is starting to turn into the favor of the Wolverines. They're going to have another Amp Matrix as well. Let's see who gets the better one this time, Marble or Yamitra.
Hey, I mean, this is something that Michigan were not able to do against Rutgers. We're talking about seeing the growth out of the Wolverines. I mean, this is clear improvement already. And look at this rundown onto Danny. Beautifully done. Great shot calling out. And Michigan are now moving completely unobstructed onto this objective.
This is exactly what they needed. This is exactly what they needed. They needed a good fight win, and I mean, they just take the one kill. And, you know, they kind of flip the script here. Now it's not them losing the first person in the fight. It's Danny and a little bit of over-aggression that they have to get there. And now the Ice Pack is forced out. They go ahead and go in with the Amp Matrix.
Danny had to use a Meteor Strike. They're in so deep with that Amp Matrix right in front of him. Obi-Wan tried to use it to their advantage. Couldn't quite find the pick. It's punched off of that corner. Blizzard now invested in from Flippy. Don't think that caught anyone. Everybody from Illini are able to just skedaddle out of the way. If they can do the same with this Flux. The Immortality Field already is. Could be vulnerable, but Zoolander had the sound barrier. Unfortunately, Marble still not able to survive the encounter. Cryo Freeze will fend off the Accretion Rock. Looks like Chopper there with a full railgun. Toby1 in their sights. Toby1 is able to dance around the shield enough. Still, the picks are coming in slowly but surely for Illini.
Then we're at 72% counting. And sound barrier advantage is in the Wolverines' favor. So, I mean, you know, while it was expensive there for the Wolverines, it was also doubly expensive for the Fighting Illini. Both supporters had to come out in that fight. So now, advantage Wolverines. As far as the support, you've got a lot of staying power with this barrier coming up.
Yeah, how does Claymore want to use it? Do you get aggressive with this? Or they track it, Silly Phil and the Blizzard on the opposite side? Toby1 loses the barrier early into this fight, which is one of the important tools to hold this corner. So here comes Danny in. Sound barrier out from Claymore. The Blizzard fights 3. Will the shields hold? Looks so far like they are. There's a good defensive wall threat in the mix as well. But now Chopper has an overclock. 2 already fallen. Meteor strike into the back as Chopper picks up a 3rd.
I mean, that is a fantastic clip there. Team kill comes out. That'll be Palace going over to the Fighting Illini. So now they're going to be on Flashpoint and match point here. They win the sub map. They take the 3-0 victory. You know that I like the barrier usage there. It did the job. They just couldn't find anything on the back of too many ultimates stacked up against them.
Yeah, Michigan did a good job of fending off 2 of the 3, but it's the overclock from Chopper that eventually does him in. Demetra with yet another ultimate of their own, and Danny just gets completely caught up by a great rock. So, once again, tank advantage to Michigan as they try to move on to this point. They need to get control of it. This time they got to hold on to it, though, Billy.
I mean, their rotations are clean right now. I'm not finding anything really that I can really pinpoint as to what's going on, other than it was just an overwhelming ult deficit that they were facing.
I mean, and the mechanics out of Chopper is just nutty. I mean, just mind-blowing.
Oh!
Blizzard out on the high ground. That one's coming from Flippy. Looks like the sound barrier is in. Marble's still frozen up, though. And will get taken down. So, 2-player advantage to the Wolverines on this point, and they've already got control.
Yep, and there's going to be some extra kills coming through here as well. Maybe not. Yeah, the wall. So, yeah, everything is going in favor of them. Yeah, barely gets out with their life. Chopper is on a sliver of health, but does get topped up.
Silly Phil has such impressive timing with their cooldowns. It makes them an incredibly dangerous threat at any range from this May. And able to survive like the pressure we just saw from Toby1. Just the use of the timing of both the cryo freeze and the wall. Toby1 able to avoid a roll there, though. And Matrix out. Michigan continue to just back away from this. They do have to use their Immortality Field to do so. Toby1 has a Flux in the pocket to try to counter back.
I think you were trying to hold this for the last point if you can, because they know that they're up against it. They know that they've got the advantage. Steelfield off the May and now onto a Genji.
Invocation Matrix out from your mage for a Toby1, and the rest are trying to get aggressive. They're going to find Marble. Aggression rewarded here. The Genji just gets a Toby1's face long enough for Chopper to find the kill, but everything else is going Yamitra's way.
Yamitra having fun right now. Yamitra
yeah, just going to pick up that one, too.
Yep, and now we are going to the final flashpoint here. It's going to be Ruins coming up on for the last flashpoint, and they still have this. Well, they're going to have the Blizzard advantage. So they'll back over to the May. You've got the sound barrier ready to go. You've got the Flux. They've got the tools, and now Danny back to the Sigma. So the Doomfist experiment here goes for naught.
And it's a tight race here at the top of the standings, BEC. Every map matters. Even if Michigan can't pull off the entire series, being able to win this map could help them stay in a good positioning on the standings and those power rankings. Saw how close Illini and Michigan were. 4th and 5th in overall. Dramatic Flux in from Toby1, but Flippy and Hugo already dead. Michigan will have to do this first fight on our 5th point without DPS, if at all. It looks like Toby1 is going to fall. First control over to Illini Orange.
No, I mean, the rock, they thought they had the perfect timing. They did not count on the Immortality Barrier, and just the amazing amount of focus fire that came in on top of the rest of the team. Once Toby1 went airborne, all the cooldowns were off the table, and they just collapsed on the rest of the Wolverines. So You know, you're looking at a sound barrier right now for both teams. You've got this overclock. We know how Chopper can get it done. This might be lights out for the Wolverines.
Little Sojourn duel here across the map between Hugh and Chopper. You could have found that pick and eliminate this threat. That could be it from the stairs. Hugh was able to get an angle down. Back on the outside, Danny falls, and Hugh once again. This time showing up, able to make that rotation. Dimitri in a bit of trouble. And Silly Phil invested the Blizzard on to this point. Toby Runs throws it up, and Mortality Phil keeping it there alive for now. But Chopper and Hugh trade out off screen. Toby Runs still in the fight, and Claymore still with the sound barrier. And this is a desperate situation here for Michigan as they move on to this point. Zoolander's going to fall, and Michigan hang on.
They hold on to their sound barrier as well. So, I mean, good patience there from Claymore to hold on to that ultimate. But, I mean, Danny's going to have this Gravitic Flux ready to go. They kind of, I mean, you get the percentage points, but, I mean, the Blizzards really didn't get enough out of it. And there's a great wall that came out from Flippy to save the whole team.
The battle between the two Mays has just been impeccable all day long. Flippy's May could be the map winner for Michigan, but Chopper from the high ground does it again. It's a Gravitic Flux. It's going to find multiple people. Sound barrier out from Zoolander, and this is looking all Illini orange as they clean up the rest of the Wolverines. They're going to have to lick their wounds and come back another day. This is going to be a 3-0 to Illini.
That was impeccable. I mean, it was so damn competitive, Jeff. I mean, it's a 3-0 victory. But it doesn't tell the whole story. The growth of this team week over week that we've seen out of Michigan is actually truly impressive to me just because of the tenacity of the fight. And they're learning from their mistakes.
Are we watching Chopper's play of the game from Danny's POV? Was that what No, impeccable teamwork coming out from Illini. I mean, from those two in particular. You know, we were talking about Danny's officially listed as having left this team. To have Danny come back and re-synergize and look like they hadn't missed a beat here for BEC. Illini will take it and kick off the week-long battle against Michigan with a bang and this clean 3-0 here in Overwatch.
Yep, I mean, there's lots more to go here for the week. They've got all the titles, Rocket League and Valorant, League of Legends.
Yep. I think there's some Smash in there as well, my friend. Yep, exactly.
Yep. So, I mean, this is going to be a great rivalry week between these two teams, but you know what? It's going to come up a little bit later in the week. So, keep your eyes peeled to the Twitter for this and seeing what kind of matchups are going to be coming down the line.
Yeah, but until then, it'll be Billy and I bidding y'all farewell. We will see you back here next week for some more Overwatch, and stick around for more BEC reaction all week long. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with us. Have a wonderful week, friends.
Bye, friends.